Hello everyone, this is Wenjie Chao, author of the Planit Pro. Today, I'm excited to share with you a unique photo planning technique inspired by the incredible work of Italian photographer Valerio. His photograph, widely celebrated on the social media, captures a stunning triple alignment, a composition where two landmarks are aligned with either the sun or the moon. In this video, we'll dive into how you can discover the camera locations for this triple alignment using Planit Pro. The goal isn't to replicate Valerio's shot, but to learn this technique and apply it to discover the camera locations in your city that no one has done before. Let's talk about triple alignment. This concept isn't just limited to one place, it's a worldwide phenomenon. Take this photo for example. It's an iconic location at the Bund in Shanghai, where you got two buildings lined up perfectly, then you got a moon right in the opening of the second building. Here's another two examples taken by myself. The first one is in San Diego. The second one is a famous thread and needle location in San Francisco. You see like a crescent moon on the top, but it's not a crescent moon, it's a lunar eclipse. Let's first figure out the mountain and the church name. Here's what Valerio wrote on his post. Now we know the date is December 15, 2023. The mountain name is Mount Whistle, and the church name is the Basilica of Supurga. Let's search for the Mount Whistle first. Let's set it as a scene location. Use this button down here. Then, let's search for the church. Here, we'll find a marker uploaded by the Chinese photographer Osvaldo Castillo. He's a master of Planit Pro. A big thanks to Osvaldo for his contribution. By selecting this marker and zoom in, we then set it as a camera location. As you can see here, the center of the building according to the satellite map is right here, but the correct center is over here. That's why it is crucial to accurately pinpoint the center of the building, which can be tricky sometimes due to the angle of the satellite image was taken. So here's the interesting part. Why we set the location as a camera location? We're clearly not going to take a photo from here. Well, we just use this camera location temporarily to utilize the distance tool in the Planit Pro. Let's swap down from over here and select the second tool, distance and view. Now you see the distance between the two locations is 17 kilometers. Tap here, you can see both locations, and you can see there are lines that connecting the two. Only distance tool has this line. If you drag the map this way until the scene location is out of the map, you see an extended gray line that shows up here. Let's take a look at this photo again. This is the mountain Mount Whistle. This is a church. Imagine a line that connecting from the mountain to the church, and that line will connect to you where they take the photo, right? Coming back to Planit Pro, and here's the mountain, here's the church. And this line is where you're gonna take the photo. Let's zoom in and take a look at the surrounding here. We can see there are some mountain areas over here. Chances are the camera location will be one of those locations. But map is flat, it's kind of tricky to figure out where it is. We sometimes use the terrain map, which will show the elevations, but it's still very difficult to find out where you can see the mountain and the church. That's where the Planit lookout location feature becomes invaluable. Let's swipe down from the famous page on the top. Look for under Location Explorer, there is a lookout locations. Tap on that. Let's set the parameters on the top. First, the target. The target is the mountain. So we just set as 10 meters so that the target is slightly lifted off the ground in case some surrounding terrains block the view. The typical use case of the lookout location is to find a lookout that are high up in the elevation. That means the elevation of the lookout typically is higher than the target. But in this case, it's the opposite. So we tap here and set it as none, meaning I'm not going to consider any elevation difference. The third one is a parameter to set the location range where the lookout location will be. And typically, we search a range that around the target, where you can see two circles around here. This circle is 20 kilometers away from the target. This circle is 50 kilometers away from the target. So we're looking for anywhere between the two circles. But in our case, we want to search for locations along this extended line here. So we tap here and just select the visible area. Now that's it. Next thing, we just tap to search. If your first time doing this, it will prompt you to download the animation data. I already did, so we'll start search right away. Here we go, all the data coming out. So let's zoom in along this line here. Any green line here means a location that you can stand there and take pictures. So taking this green line, for example, the big green dot meaning the starting of the location, and the small green dot means end of the location. So anywhere from here to here can be a camera location. Let's take this one, for example. Tap on that, the camera pin was set, and then we go to the VR and take a look. And here's the church, and here's the Mountain Mount Vessel. But this location is off a little bit. That's okay. So let's further refine the camera location. Now, a question for you. Look at this simulation from the Planit VR viewfinder. Then look at the photo. Just consider the relative position between the two objects. If I want to get a simulation that is similar to the photo, where should I move my camera location? I'll tell a trick. Whenever you move your camera locations, the further one of the two objects will move with you. So in this case, we want the mountain to move down and move left. That means camera location should move down and move left. So go back to the map. So find a location that is down the hill, maybe somewhere around here. Right now, this is where the camera is, so move left, maybe somewhere around here. Let's set it as camera location. Take a look at the VR again. Well, it's much better because this is where the mountain is, and this is church. So the mountain is slightly to the left of it. So if we tap this button to move right, one more time, one more time. So every time it moves right about 1 meters. That's about right. So maybe zoom up a little bit here. Let's take a look where the camera is. So that's where the camera is. Are we done? Not yet. If you look at the map here, you can see there's some trees. There are also people's house here. Unless you're on the road, so anywhere if you try to get into the bushes, it might be private property. So a better way is to use Google Street View to take a look. You can tap the camera pin here. Here is the GPS coordinates. You can press and hold, and this coordinate will copy to a clipboard. Then you can go to Google Map and open the Street View. But if you also apply the Google Map key from the Google Map console, you can use this button here and use the Street View to go to the Street View directly without using the Google Map. And here we go. So it looks like there's a road here and there's tons of trees. Well, let's move this way a little bit. Maybe move further down. Okay, here we go. I think I see the mountain. Do you see it? Let's zoom in a little bit here. That's where the Superga is. So it looks like there are tons of trees here. It's very difficult to find a location that might work. So clearly, you need to go there and scout the location and find one. Now, once we have the location, the rest of the work is easier. You go to the Sun Moon Finder, select the date to be tap here to select the date. Then the photo was taken in December, so I selected December 1st, then search for year. And over here, let's select moon set, and then tap this button, select the range where you want moon to show up. And we found 5 results. And the first one is December 15, 2023. Here we go. That's it. All you need to do next is to drive there on a clear sunny day. Look around and try to find an exact location where you can see the church and the mountain, and where the church is perfectly aligned the mountain. Now, the only thing that I notice isn't perfect is we think the peak is over here, but the Planit VR viewfinder says the peak is over here. Why there's a difference? Well, the reason is the elevation data we are using is 90-meter resolution, which means it's not that accurate. We could use some more accurate data, but it will be huge amount of data that are gonna occupy on your phone. That's not good. So if you really want to simulate what it looked like in the real life, there is a way to do that. So I'll show you in the next part of the video. It's more advanced topic. If you want to stop, that's okay. But if you want to dive in more, let's go ahead. Let's go back to the map. Tap here to see both pin, then zoom in on the mount visual. And it says the peak is here, but I did some research. Actual peak will be here. So let's tap on that. Click here to add a marker. And change the type of this marker to the mountain. Then we can type in the name. Then let's build a model for it. You can tap this button where you can add a model. This mountain shape is just like a cone, so we're gonna use a cone to do that. And over here you can see there are different languages that you can use, and the cone is one of it. You can just tap here, you're gonna enter a cone here. It'll be a huge cone, of course. I searched, and the elevation of the mountain is 3,841 meters. So that's a height. So the radius is about the same as well. So let's say use 4,000 at the radius, then the height, it will be 3,841. Save it. Now, here you have to click that. 3,841 is absolute elevation. So you want to tap here, make sure it's starting from sea level, and you need to clear here. Otherwise, it will be add on top of this 3,000 elevation. And make sure here it select show the marker in the viewfinder. And if you want to show the name, you can do that. Then tap OK. Now let's go back to the VR and take a look. And here we go. That's where the actual mountain should be. And if you don't want this mountain to be visible, you can tap here, swipe down to the bottom, and tap here, select not showing. Then the default terrain will not be visible. So clearly we need to move left. So just press this button until it's perfect aligned. And here we go. So if you adjust the moon position and make sure it's perfectly aligned. Now if you take a look at picture and take a look at this simulation, it's very close. It might be further down a little bit. So maybe we can go further down to here. Looks like there's some road here, and here is a north, should have a clear view. Yeah, I think that's very close. Let's go to Street View to verify this location works. Because Street View only has the data on the street, that's why it goes back to the street. But the actual location is somewhere over here. There's a path that lead to this location, and doesn't seem like to be a private property. Of course, you need to make sure that. So that's it. I think we found the exact camera location. Again, congratulations to Valerio for his great shot. And I also hope you guys can learn this technique. Try to find a triple alignment camera location in your city or area and get the shot. Thank you for watching. See you next time.